Here we go. Hey Flower Tribe, it's Kelly Lehman from Cranberry Fields Flower Farm, and today I want to give you some great tips about fall care for your Mophead hydrangeas. So if we haven't met yet, it's nice to meet you. My name is Kelly Lehman. I'm the owner of Cranberry Fields Flower Farm here in Cranberry, New Jersey, and I love giving you guys fun, free flower tips. So please feel free to subscribe to that YouTube channel and hit that bell notification so you know whenever I post another fun, free flower tip video. So here I am in front of one of my Mophead hydrangeas, and it is fall. It's September. We're in my New Jersey Planting Hardiness Zone 6 flower bed. And I wanted you to know that I transplanted this hydrangea as well as all the hydrangeas that you see in this front row last fall. So we had a whole bunch of hydrangeas that were in a spot in our flower farm that were very unhappy. They weren't blooming properly, and so we moved them. And so fall is a great time to do your transplanting. So basically what you're going to do is go out to your hydrangea, and what you could do is just kind of dig up around like the base of the plant here. You're going to make sure that you get as much of the roots as you possibly can. So you want to get like as much as the root system, and then you can dig them up and make sure that you keep it, you know, like moist. You don't want to do this when the plant is dehydrated. So we had a whole bunch of like really like hot days in the past couple weeks. So you don't want to do your transplanting on those super hot days. So wait till temperatures kind of cool off. I might even wait a little bit longer. Maybe let the plant go a little more dormant. Maybe wait until like the end of September when temperatures get really cool, and then you can kind of dig it up. Make sure that the plant is hydrated before you dig it up, and then you're going to basically just put it in a spot where you think it's going to be happiest, and then make sure that once you fill in the hole, you're going to make sure that you water it. Those roots are going to need a chance to get established. So I would also do any kind of transplanting at least 6 weeks before the ground freezes. So I would say like the end of September is a great time to do it. Even like early October, like the end of October is a great time to do it. Just check when it says that the ground is going to start freezing in your neck of the woods, because those roots really need like a while, like at least 6 weeks to kind of get established in their new home. So that's tip number one. Transplanting is a great time. Fall is a great time to do your transplants. Also make sure that with your Mophead hydrangeas, you don't do a heavy pruning this time of year. So heavy pruning is a no-no in fall, because a lot of next year's flowers are being put in place right now, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So a lot of next year's flowers are being put in place right now. A lot of these, so all of these Mophead hydrangeas, they come in on what's known as like that old wood, and then later on new growth, but a lot of next year's flowers are being put in place right now. So you don't want to start pruning everything off, because then you're going to start cutting off next year's flowers. Some Flower Tribe members have asked me though, am I able to give it like a haircut? Because some of you have got hydrangeas that are kind of spilling over onto your sidewalks or spilling over like next to the house. So you can give it like a cleanup if you want. You can come in here. I would cut it like, you know, if I was going to give this guy a cleanup, I would cut it right about here. I want to make sure that I leave a lot of next year's flowers in place, but I might give it like just a little bit of a cleanup here. I might give it like a little bit of a cleanup here. And this way you can kind of, you know, control the size of the hydrangea a bit without doing that heavy pruning. And another reason why you don't want to do a heavy pruning in fall is because you don't want to encourage your plant to have like, you know, like extra growth this time of year. You don't want it to have to do all that extra work of providing more and more green leaves and trying to produce flowers, because at this time of year, you want your plant to go dormant. You want it to kind of rest for the winter. So if you do a heavy pruning, you're kind of telling that plant, hey, it's time to like push forth some new growth, and you don't want to do that. That's why, you know, like you don't just want to do like a heavy pruning. So that's the story with the pruning. So hold off on that. If you wanted to prune back your Mophead hydrangeas, the best time would have been to do that right after the plant was done flowering, but no later usually than like August 1st, because that's when you start seeing these new little nodes going on. But I have to say, guys, if you didn't prune them back, don't worry. I hardly ever prune back my hydrangeas, especially my Mophead hydrangeas, and I get gorgeous blooms almost every single year. So don't worry if you didn't prune them back. For the most part, if they're happy where they are, you probably don't even have to prune them back, but a little cleanup is okay. And guys, also when you're cleaning up your hydrangeas, you can take a look for those like the brown stalks, like those sticks that have no growth on them. And the ones that have no growth on them and they look like they're dead, they can be cut out of the plant at any time, because it's just some dead wood. And I'll see if I can find some in here to show you what that looks like. So if we come in closer to the plant here, I can see that there's not much going on over here. This guy's got like a white top, and I see that there's no green growth on it. And if I cut down a little bit lower on this stick, see if I can get you in here tighter with the camera. As I cut in here with the stick, it's still white. So that shows me that there's no growth here. This is a dead stalk. So I'm actually going to cut out this dead stalk at the base of the plant. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one here. I'm just going to trim it, cut it out of there, because I don't want my hydrangea to have to worry about supporting any kind of dead weight. This stem is green, but it looks kind of crummy. I mean, it's got like none of those beautiful nodes on like you see next door, like you see this like little sister stem here. This is like a really healthy stem right here. It's got some flowers that are going to come out next year. The leaves are nice and green, so this is a great stem to leave alone. This one looks a little, you know, like not so hot. So I'm going to wind up just cutting this one out. And the same thing over here. I'm just going to get rid of all these, you know, like deadwood stems. And then guys, now that I'm down here, I'm also going to remove the leaves that are at the base of the plant, because hydrangeas like to have a lot of aeration at the base of their plant. So these leaves are going to start clogging things up, and it might actually cause some fungal issues. So I'm going to actually remove the leaves, and I'm going to do a better job at this later when I'm done with this YouTube live video. I don't want to waste your time here, but I'm going to clean up all the leaves at the base of the plant. And if you'll notice, I have some nice mulch at the base of the plant. This mulch is going to ensure that the moisture that it gets from the rain is going to stay with the plant and not evaporate right into the atmosphere super fast. So it's a good idea to clean out the leaves, to add some mulch this time of year. And guys, also keep up with the watering. I know a lot of times, you know, the fall comes and we kind of turn off the sprinkler systems, which is fine. But keep in mind that sometimes we have like some super hot days in October or even like the end of September. So make sure that your plant doesn't dry out. You don't want it to go into the winter season being stressed and being dehydrated. So make sure you keep up with the water on those super hot days. And I just want to show you some of these really cool flower arrangements that we built out from some of our limelight hydrangeas that are in like full bloom right now in the back of the garden. And let me show you what some of those look like, because I love showing you some of the flower arrangements that we have going out the barn door each week and what we pair them with. So hydrangeas look terrific with sunflowers. So your Mophead hydrangeas would also look great with some sunflowers, but this is what these guys look like as they're going out the barn door today. And we've also got some beautiful cosmos in here. Let me see if I can find a, you know what, let me show you a better arrangement. Take a look over here in the flower cart. So, these are actually just some cosmo leaves. So this is a great filler, you know, like a filler green for your arrangements. And guys, I made you a whole bunch of flower videos. So some easy to follow online flower course videos that show you how to grow all these amazing flowers in your own backyards. They're super step-by-step. And I also show you how to make these beautiful arrangements that you can gift to your family and friends. So some of these are actually going to some of my friends this week. We have a cranberry Flowers of the Month club they're going out to. So I think you'll really like those online courses. You can check that out. They're always in descriptions below. And I wanted to show you one more cool thing about these Mophead hydrangeas. We did some propagating in the beginning of the summer. So what we did was we just basically, I'm going to show you exactly what we did. Hold on. Let's get you over there. Let me put this guy back on the cart. So we took this hydrangea stem. We basically just gave it a little bit of a bend, and I'll show you exactly how I did it down here. Let me come down here. We just took one of these branches. And actually, this is a brand new plant over here that formed. I'll get back to that in a minute. I took a pot, I had some soil in it, and we just removed some of these bottom leaves. I kept the leaves that were on the top. I'm going to remove this set of leaves too. But I made sure that I kept these blooms in place. And I gave it a little bit of a scrape. Scrape, scrape, scrape. I'm just removing a little bit of the green from the bottom of the plant with my nail. You can use a knife. Some people even like to use a rooting hormone at this step. They'll kind of put some powder on there. I think easiest is best, so the least amount of steps, I like that the best. So I'm not even going to use the rooting powder, but that would speed up the process. I'm going to cover this with some dirt. Notice how I left these green leaves sticking out of the pot because the plant needs to continue to feed itself. I did that. I'm gonna put a rock on top, and I'm gonna make sure that I water this in. And after, I don't know, maybe about like a month or two, I'm gonna wind up with something that looks like this. And this right now is a hydrangea that is ready to survive on itself, by itself. So I kind of buried this in the ground a little bit. You can see this pot was put in the ground. So guys, if you're going to do this, it's called the pot layering method. If you're going to do this pot layering method at this time of year, make sure that you bury the pot in the ground. Otherwise, the roots that are going to form on this brand new hydrangea plant may wind up freezing. So make sure that you bury that pot in the ground. But this is its own plant right now, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like because it has its own roots. So let me see if I can get in here and dig this up. Whoop. I don't want to disturb it too much, but there are some beautiful roots on the bottom of this plant right now.